Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day, great afternoon, great night, just a great time in general when you're watching this. So today's video, I decided I want to talk about social media. It's kind of sort of because TikTok is or might be getting banned. I haven't looked in anymore, and I'm gonna get into that. I'm not a TikTok user or really a fan, but my little blanket statement about TikTok is that it shouldn't be deleted even though I don't like it. It is complete censorship that it wants to be taken away, and that's bullshit. And I at least it's also not even just that. It's about to take away like a portion of people's income and straight up people's jobs if they don't do other social media. So frankly, no matter how much I don't like it, it is still completely shit that this is even happening. And I kind of just wanted to go down the list of either social medias I've heard about, my experiences with them, and just stuff like that. That's kind of what I was feeling for today's video. And I have a whole list on my phone, so we're gonna go through that. Starting off on my list, we have 4chan, which came out in 2003, and I only saw years. So I don't know if I was 4 or 3 at the time. And to be really honest, of course, wasn't really knowing much about that, but as I got older, I've never really liked 4chan. I always thought it was fucking weird. There was always something going on with it, and never really heard a lot of great things about 4chan. And genuinely, I've had a lot of little morbid curiosities about little things, that people talk shit about, and I went to go check out, and 4chan was one of those that I never really did. It never seemed interesting, and I never really thought to go and check in on. The next social media that the first social media I actually used, and a lot of my older friends and my brother used growing up, and that was MySpace. MySpace first came out in 2003 as well, and later when the quote-unquote bigger / killer change happened in 2005. I was using MySpace for a few years. I got a MySpace around 7 or 8 because my brother had one, and I was really tech savvy, so I made my own account. And I slightly did it because I wanted to, I was the little brother of the family, but I wanted to make sure my brother wasn't doing anything stupid. I know I was only 7 or 8, but even still, I knew that my brother liked getting in trouble with stupid people, and I weirdly had the knowledge to go in and see what my brother was doing, and he never knew about it until right before I deleted my MySpace, because that's when he saw that my account was one of his friends he added. The next one after that I used was Skype, but I didn't use that till way later. That also came out in 2003. I don't know why Skype died. I know it got bought out, and that was one of the things that killed Skype. I never understood why Skype died. It was such a great video networking software, app, just great working service in general. And then fucking Zoom came along and killed it, and I still don't understand why. Genuinely, when I started going into jobs and stuff like that, I was like, why are we using Zoom? Genuinely, I heard about Zoom and I was like, I don't even want to use this. Why are we losing Skype? I didn't even like Microsoft Teams, but I would have preferred Teams to Zoom, or Hangouts to Zoom, because it was just ridiculous. Zoom just came in and changed everything, and it's still not even a good app. You still have to pay for shit, and it's so stupid. So I started using Facebook later, and that's also what came out next. I'm not going directly in order of each social media, just social media I know about and or have enough relevant information that I feel like I can talk about it. I know I'm saying that later, but I am just emphasizing that now. And the next one was Facebook. That came out in 2004, and I got my first Facebook when I was 10 or 11, and I primarily used it to play this side-scroller battle royale game. I can't even remember what it was called, but you could you had these different avatars and you were either like an animal or it was just animals. All I remember is it was so fun to play, and I used to play it for hours. And then my mom found out about it, and my mom, I can't remember if this is how the secret started or it was like minor blackmail or whatever, but we both started playing Farmville. And I don't know if you remember Farmville, but you needed a Facebook account to use it or what have you, or it was on Facebook. And my mom and I used to play Farmville so much. Like, she was in the hospital from a surgery and straight up called me to be like, I need you to go onto my Farmville account and I need you to clear out all of my crops so that way I can sell them. And I'm like, Mom, you can barely like operate a phone. Why the fuck are you calling me about a game? She's like, just fucking do it. So that's how, you know, my mom basically found out I had a Facebook, and then I had it for a while before my dad ever found out about it, because my dad was really the crazy one about the internet because he never really could fully get it, still doesn't really get it. Like, he only got a Facebook like 2020, I believe, or 2019. Still doesn't have his profile pic. Like, it's really funny how like out of date my dad's Facebook is, but he still uses it. And so that's, you know, how also Facebook really died for me after a while, because you know, all the other social medias got bigger and better, but I'm coming back to a point now where I'm noticing so much of Facebook being used by most of my friends that I'm like, maybe I need to give Facebook another thought, because I've sold stuff on Facebook Marketplace and I've interacted that way with people, and I'm like, well, maybe I should, for social media, give Facebook a thought and start working on that. But I'm still not sure yet, and if I do anything on there, it would probably just be posts, maybe, if not clips. I don't know. We'll figure out Facebook later. So YouTube came out in 2005, and I don't know if you were like me and was watching like all the OG YouTubers. I wasn't really that much of a Smosh fan, but I was a Shane Dawson fan. I really liked his content for a long time. I wanted to do videos like Shane, and then all of his shit started happening. I'm furious sometimes when I talk to people about YouTube, because people will be like, yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube growing up. And then I'm like, yeah, do you remember this person, this person, this person, this person? And like start naming off all these different groups, and they're just looking at me like deer in headlights. And I'm like, oh, so you didn't like YouTube that much. Because I felt like I literally watched so much YouTube that I know about so many niche people now, because I don't like a lot of the bigger YouTubers, and I don't feel like I can trust a lot of the big YouTubers, because, you know, like the Shane Dawson shit and other YouTubers that like all this shit drums up about them, and I'm like, you see, this is why you can't trust people. But I still followed you know, some big YouTubers, not really any of the really mainstream people anymore, but big enough people still, like, you know what I mean. And you know, YouTube was always something I knew I wanted to do. I wasn't sure in what form or fashion, and it's changed over the years, and as you can see now, I'm finally in front of the camera, but that may not always be necessarily the case. I've considered going back behind the camera to do audio work, if not just editing. I've considered doing camera work still, but not being on camera, and it never seems like there's a perfect way to do YouTube. It is just, how do you want to do it? And that's why I still accept and like criticism from people, but I'm also not trying to compare myself to other people. And genuinely, I don't want to be the Jingly Keys YouTuber that has to do a million clips or a million little sound bites just to get somewhere. I'm telling you something, I have information I want to give you, and if I can post photos and things, I would love to, and edit little things in, I would love to. That is not the content I see myself doing. I feel like my content should be good enough for people to at least listen to, and that is why I've considered moving towards more of a podcasty type setting, because a lot of my stuff is really just talking at you, and I would prefer to be like that as well, because I don't see myself doing all this artistic work, at least right now, as this is not a full-time job. If this was a full-time job, sure, I could see myself doing more extravagant work on or behind camera. As of right now, as this is just a hobby that could build into a job, I am doing the work I enjoy and what I want to see on around, a video. That's really my thought on YouTube. It's changed so much over the years, and at this point, the only new and different thing I can see myself doing with YouTube would be live streaming on it to save VOD content for that to be additional content for people. But as of right now, I really just see myself doing what I'm doing right now and talking to the camera. I like doing that, and I'm hoping everyone else likes me doing that as well. I haven't gotten any complaints, only suggestions, and that is what I like to hear. And I would like, if there is any complaints, to also get those so I can change things and get better with my content. However, I still would like to just continue sitting here and talking to the camera, friend to friend, So Reddit came out in 2005, and I have an on and off idea of Reddit. I think it could be a better social media, but Reddit really is like, I need to use an outside source to find an inner source in Reddit. Because I think outside of Am I the Asshole stuff on Reddit or horror stories, I don't even like Reddit. Everything else, sure, you can get some helpful PC tips and suggestions on Reddit, but I literally would rather use anything else. Fuck, I'd even rather go on YouTube to find things out. ChatGPT. Because Reddit just feels like it is either really confusing or it is so simple that it is confusing because I'm expecting all this other rigmarole to get things done. So I don't know, I've always just had really mixed feelings about Reddit, so much so that if I ever did a Reddit video, it would probably be only Am I the Asshole stories, because that's all I really do the effort of finding. Because everything else is just all these backslashes or slashes and shit, and I don't know what all the Reddit lingo is, and I don't care. It you'll see when I get to Tumblr, I think Reddit is literally Tumblr without porn, and now Tumblr doesn't have porn, so they're basically the same shit, but Reddit is full of a bunch of neckbeards, while Tumblr is still full of a bunch of writers and sad individuals, because I don't know why you're still on Tumblr, because I don't know anyone who even talks about Tumblr anymore. And I'll get to Tumblr, because I have my thoughts on Tumblr, because I'm really disappointed in Tumblr. Trust me on that. The next one is 2006, and that's Twitter. Twitter used to be a really fun social media, at least in my opinion. 2022 is when Elon Musk bought it and fucked it over. It was a little bit dead before then, in my opinion. In my opinion, 2020 was really Twitter's last year. Technically, as of what I remember with how the slide really happened, because that's when they started kind of being finicky with adult content, was in 2020 or 2021. They were throwing out there that they might start banning people that were doing adult content, and just about everyone was remember Tumblr. Yeah, think real long and hard before you do that and kill your whole app. And they didn't. They still very much... So I had a little bit of an argument with a friend the other day where he was like, porn is literally everywhere. It can be seen by everyone. No, it can't. Same with all the violent shit that happens, which I'm more mad about the violent shit not being shown. Actually, sorry not sorry, if you're weak enough that you can't see, you know, like an incident happen and you're not seeing that thing now. I mean, you are seeing that thing now and that made you sad. Good, it should be making you sad. You are unaware of something and you need to be aware of it, because otherwise you're being willfully or woefully, I don't fucking know. You are effectively not knowing about something that is absolutely happening and you're acting basically like it isn't happening, and I personally think you should be knowing things are happening. Not necessarily to the degree of you're being shown burn victims and stuff like that of incidents happening, but also you need to be more aware than I feel like people are, and that is what X or Twitter is doing now. People aren't liking it though. However, I have been seeing, you know, with Elon Musk becoming so close to the president, that things are being changed around on X, so stuff is being hidden now, and I'm of the mind that it can now go. It can now go. Elon Musk is corrupt as shit, and that app is trash, and I will never be making another X account. I don't give a fuck. It's a trash app. I don't. Threads is getting big enough now. It should just take over X, and we should just move on, because it's like the same thing with TikTok being gone. It's all censorship. It's disgusting. You shouldn't be hiding shit from people, especially because they need to know that stuff is happening. Otherwise, we're just sitting in some type of ignorant ass bliss that all this stuff isn't happening, and we should be knowing it's happening, and it's bullshit. That's my hardcore as fuck take on Twitter. It's fucking terrible as fuck that it's even happening still. So 2006 or 2007, Tumblr is created, and in 2017 is when they did that whole dumbass thing to take out adult content, rightfully killing their app. Because, okay, my big thing about why Tumblr losing adult content being not only ridiculous and what have you, it is because Tumblr was a place for creatives of every vocation. Not like how X claims they are, where you can show adult content. Tumblr did it in an artistic way. Yeah, sometimes they still posted porn. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not what I care about. Same thing with X. I don't fucking care. That adults can do what adults want to do. I am talking about art in general. Art is art and porn is porn. See? Porn can be art too. Not the point. The point is that Tumblr was very great for blog posts, sharing ideas, and connecting people together. Then, all of a sudden, around the time that adult content was being taken out, other stuff was being cut out of Tumblr. Like you couldn't write as long of posts anymore. Connecting with people was even harder. They were silencing hashtags, and it just was getting to be a dirty, muddled site where creativity was just getting overrun with toxic trolls. And that is what feels like is happening to X. And to be really honest, both apps aren't good anymore. They need to just be taken down. And it's funny that we're looking at TikTok, where a bunch of people are getting helped with that app, and we're not looking at those two apps that are still working and are still pieces of shit. I don't get it. It's so fucking dumb. Oh, the Saving Grace app comes out. Pinterest. Pinterest comes out in 2010. And man, when I tell you, Pinterest was and is my favorite social media. You can find basically anything you want. Recipes, how to make an outfit, outfits in general, jewelry, how to make anything. You can find so much shit on Pinterest. Pinterest is my TikTok. That's kind of how I look at it, because Pinterest has a whole bunch of shit you can share on it. You can do videos, you can do pictures, you can write stuff in Pinterest. It's not that great to write stuff, but you can still do that. And you can make all these different boards, and you can save all this stuff, and you can, I just prefer Pinterest with how creative it is, all the things you can find in it, the collaboration, and it's just a great application to find, work on, and just do anything. I would definitely never tell the TikTok people to go to Pinterest. Y'all would get too overloaded. Sorry, not sorry. But Pinterest is just so fun for me. I literally spent a day the other day just organizing my Pinterest. Yeah, I get that was probably stupid, maybe a little bit of a waste of time. Afterwards, I felt great because I could actually find stuff in my Pinterest again. Because sometimes I do that where I just save a bunch of stuff and I can't find it again. I also do that on Instagram, but it's a lot better on Instagram than it is Pinterest. And yeah, I find it funny now that I'm looking at this list that even though, because Instagram is next, Instagram and Pinterest, like, were and are my two favorite social medias because of what you can do with them and how much Instagram's evolved, Pinterest has evolved. Like, you can just do so much with Pinterest. Now, Instagram, I was one of the first users. That's my little social media flex, because I liked it. I liked being able to post little photos. My Instagram used to be my little journal of my life. And I deleted all of those photos. And I won't be able to get them back because I was upset, and I also didn't know you could archive photos. Yes, I did that around the time that update happened. I was stupid. Just the amount of things I wish I kept on my Instagram. Like, I've been a nerd my whole life, and the story that my Instagram used to tell, like, I had almost 700 posts. I had so much, though, that I had a little bit of imposter syndrome for a while, and I felt like a weirdo. But Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, like all these apps that you were the weird kid for having because Instagram was one of those, is like the perfect place to be a weirdo. Like, you can just do what you want on there. And I used to have, like, I think I had 2,000 followers at one point. I at least had 1,800. And I just posted all this dumb shit for people, and they would still like it. And I could just be the weirdo I wanted to be. And it was my own secret world for a long time. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. And sometimes I really miss, like, right now as I'm reminiscing about it, that weird person I used to be, that I still am. I just don't do that stuff anymore, and it's really frustrating sometimes that I don't, because I'm like, wouldn't it be really cool to show people? And that's also why I wanted to get into doing YouTube again, is so I could break back out of that weirdo shell and I could show people how weird I am and was. Like, I still, one thing I still find funny that I did it because I wanted to impress a boy that was not going to be impressed by it. But I posted literally every Power Ranger morph from the beginning of Power Rangers all the way up to the last one at the time, which was that I had watched at the time, which was Samurai, or the one right after Super Samurai, the one where they could change into all the different Rangers. I loved Power Rangers. If there was anything that was probably my thing, it might have been Power Rangers. I loved Power Rangers. I always loved all the little cringy moments where they got their little breakout moment, and it was just great. Power Rangers was great for me, and I wanted to do the morphs, and I did them. I did them for Snapchat because I wanted to see what my friends thought. And then I also was like, fuck it, I'm gonna post them on my Instagram. And I did. And people liked them. I actually got more friends. I had at least one really good friend. I had more, but I gained one really good friend from posting those morphs because he found my morphs and we were talking for a while. And just the things you never know you can gain from just putting out a video, and that's what this whole thing has become, is like, I want to see not only what I can create, but who I attract and who I can, inspire, because I want to inspire artists and other creatives to break out and do things that they want to do, just like I'm trying to encourage myself to break out and do other things. I mean, you never know. Maybe my next video will be a video of me dancing for the camera. You never know. Now, something I didn't know, because I'm looking at my list here, that I forgot was even a social media, because it's kind of like Reddit, which is Quora, which came out in 2010. I used to use this fucker for math problems. I used to literally take photos of my math problems and put them into Quora and find out answers for them. And I thought Quora was like Reddit, and it is like Reddit, but at the time, it was just a math calculator, or at least what I could access was a math calculator. And no one else knew what Quora was, and it was funny, it was my own little Reddit. It was really dumb. So I think Quora actually is trash too. It literally is just another Reddit. It's like different, it's night mode Reddit. Reddit's orange and white, and Quora is red and black, or it's red and gray. So it's like literally flipped. It's stupid. Oh, Snapchat. Snapchat came out in 2011 as well, and I thought Snapchat was whack when it first came out. I didn't use it forever. I think I didn't use it till middle school, like end of middle school. So it was like another year or two after Snapchat was fully out before I used it. Mainly because I just thought it was dumb. Like, and I still think Snapchat is dumb. Like, even though I was just talking about Instagram where I was posting all my little dumb shit, because I wasn't doing it when I mentioned that previously in the story. This was after this time when I started doing it. Snapchat really is one of the, like, out of all the social media I haven't talked about yet and have talked about, Snapchat is probably the dumbest social media to me. Like, sure, it keeps you connected with your friends, but so does a fucking phone number. You can send the exact same snaps you do to people through a text, unless you have an iPhone. Then you can't really send great photos. Sorry not sorry, suck it iPhone users. Android is better because we don't have to worry about our photos being shit when we send them. Sorry, my own mini rant about Apple versus Android, which I don't even fucking care about, but that is one thing I always hated hearing people complain about, is they would rather use Snapchat instead of getting a different phone. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's literally, you either got an Android where you can do all these other things without restrictions, or you got Apple, which has taken so many fucking years just to be on the same plane as an Android, but they still think they're superior. It's like a chihuahua barking at, you know, any other literally better dog. You know, you see the difference? Sorry. My own little mini rant about Android versus Apple. Snapchat's garbage, and it's also garbage that Snapchat is a better app on Apple than it is Instagram. It's stupid that Snapchat is a better app on Apple than it is Android, and it's because they know their messaging is trash. So they need a fucking app to make it better and lie to their customers instead of just fixing their fucking shit. Anyways, the social media that I know that basically no one used except for me and like no one else was Google+, which, sorry, I should say me and only people in Europe used. Literally, I felt like I was the only human on this planet, the only human on this continent that used fucking Google+. I don't know why. It was a decent social media. I don't know why people didn't like it. It was actually pretty decent, and it connected with your YouTube, so you could actually like comment with YouTubers. I actually used to talk to YouTubers with Google+. Like, it's actually funny. I used to do that. See, this is what happens. You actually start talking about stuff and you start remembering your little memories. Because I almost worked with a couple of YouTubers as an editor because I was lying to them. I, of course, was lying to them. I was a child. I was trying to just talk to them. They were cool YouTubers. But yeah, like the amount of things that was just cool on Google Plus that you could connect so much stuff to was just ridiculous. And then it got replaced with Google Hangouts. And, you know, Google Hangouts was great for a while too. My roommate and I used to use that shit all the time to video call and voice call because we could use it on our computer and use our Gmail. It's how I used to write stuff. I used to send her with that. And, you know, it was a great social media. Like, the funny thing is, as I'm, like, going down these, I'm actually getting a little bit subtly mad because I'm noticing all these actual good social medias that got trashed all because of one or two features that they took out, and then people got pissed, literally. And Twitch came out. I didn't really use Twitch for a long time. I didn't even really understand Twitch. I didn't understand live streaming or anything like that. It wasn't really my thing until I got way older. I think I was getting out of high school before I really knew what Twitch was. And then I wanted to be a streamer, and I did stream. The main reason I stopped streaming is because I noticed how psychotically oversaturated Twitch is. And it still is. It is so hard to get seen on Twitch. Fuck, it's even so hard to get seen on YouTube. And so when I start streaming again, I'm gonna do what all these other YouTubers and Twitch streamers are doing, and then I'm going to multicast to Twitch and YouTube, because it's not just what everyone else is suggesting, but it's to make sure that I can grow my audience and I can reach more people, so that way I'm not having to just ride on Twitch working out. Because when I tried to do that last time, no matter if I had good audio, had good record time, good title, was on at a good time, I tried all the tips and tricks. Aside from getting a face cam, because I didn't want to show my face, I was very self-conscious. I still am pretty self-conscious, as you can notice. I do all this other shit to try and just make myself look good for camera. And I just know I am giving less of a fuck, but a different less of a fuck than I was considering then. So I know when I go to do it this time, I'm going to have a better attitude and I'm going to be able to build something better, because I know I'd be able to entertain people better. However, my slight little problem is I sometimes get a little bit overzealous when I'm playing games, or I get really quiet. So I'm trying to work on how I'm going to do that if I stream or game for this channel. So we'll see. Oh, Vine. You know, we all miss Vine. All the real people who had Vine and liked Vine. And I think that's really probably why I don't like TikTok that much. And I'm gonna talk about Musical.ly too, because I forget about it sometimes, but that really is why I don't personally like TikTok, is because Vine died. I used to make Vines. That is something I've never told anyone. I didn't have a big Vine channel, but I loved making Vines. I loved connecting with people on Vine, and I loved talking to people on Vine just about everything. I used to be a pretty chatty Cathy on there. It was such a fun app. You could just swipe and find all this different cool shit, and it was so frustrating when Vine died. It really changed everything on social media, in my opinion, and in many others. I think it changed definitely for the worst. And then when Vine died, I very actively just tried to forget that Vine even happened, because I was so devastated by Vine dying. I loved Vine so much, and I definitely thought that was going to go further for me than Instagram did, which is funny because I had more people on Instagram. I think it's because Vine was just so fun and there was such creative atmosphere, but the one thing I could never do for Vine, which was go live, it was just something I never liked doing. I never liked going live. I think that's why I don't like going live now. Oh, the Lost Ark, because this is an application that no one had, or at least unless you were a writer, and I knew quite a few writers, but still they didn't even really use it, and that was Yik Yak. That came out in the same year, 2013, and I loved that app. It's like Whisper, which I'm also going to talk about a little bit, but it felt like it was mainly for writers. There was it was almost like Twitter, but it was for people in your area, and you could just chit chat about shit. Like, if you have a Ring doorbell, It's almost like the neighbor feature on Ring. And it was just so fun because you could just talk about anything with anyone. There was no profile pics. Anonymity wasn't the big seller to me. It was just the fact that there was always positive people on there. Even when we were talking about negative things on there, there was always positivity and there was always someone to talk to and get information about something. And I could always get writing help if I wanted at any time I opened up that app. It was awesome. I really wish Yik Yak didn't die. It was bullshit. And it only died because they didn't have enough users. Bullshit. I could literally open that app either in PA when I was visiting my grandparents or where I lived at the time. And it is such baloney that that app died. Because my grandparents lived in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and I still was able to get responses. Like, do you see how bullshit that is? Doesn't have enough users. Next, now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this Musical.ly was there from 2014 to 2018. And 2018 is when Musical.ly moved over to TikTok. And I tried with Musical.ly. I made a few videos. I was really enjoying the music scene. The only thing I didn't like, and it's what TikTok absorbed, and that's the dancing. God damn it. I love dancing. Like I just said, I talked about a video about me dancing for the camera. I don't like TikTok dances though, or Musical.ly dances. You are not a fucking dancer because you watched some dumbass TikTok shit and now you can dance. Unless you are literally doing a choreographed dance or you're using more dance moves, you're not a fucking dancer. You're a TikTok dancer or you're a Musical.ly dancer. Sorry, not sorry. I hate that. There is a difference. I would like to, like, if you're a classically trained dancer, that's also different. But I don't know. I could never gain, maybe that's just me being overly critical. I don't know. I just think that it was never cool for me. And again, that could just be a me thing. Like, it just wasn't for me, so I didn't like other people doing it, and I projected it. Who knows? But now that app is dead, and I don't want to see TikTok die. I'm not going to use it, but I'm not going to see it die. I'm not going to see it die if I can help. But I also don't think even my thought is going to help it. We just want to censor the fuck out of shit. We want to hide shit from people. And it's great. You know, being in America is so fucking awesome because I love that I can't even find out shit about my own country and have to do a deep dive to fucking find anything out, because that makes a lot of fucking sense, right? You know, why would I want to know anything that's happening in my country? Now, another great application that I was glad that came out was Discord. Now, I didn't use Discord until 2017, but it came out in 2015, and no, I did have a Discord. I just deleted the original one, because I couldn't get into the old password. But Discord was great, and still is great, because you get to connect with all these different gamer groups, or just YouTubers too. And I like the connections with Discord and all the little reactions you can do, and you can make your own server, and you can watch things with people, have watch parties. It's just a really cool application that I don't hear that much about, but should be getting more praise than it does. Or people should just be using Discord more. Like, I feel like if you're a YouTuber and you don't have a Discord to engage with your fans, why? Why don't you want to talk to them? Like, sure, if you say you have a Gmail or something else that they can contact, that's kind of cool. But, like, you could also get, I don't know, a Discord where they can actually talk to you and you can have actual interaction with your fans. But that's just me. I think that would be really cool more than them sending in an email, because you can control your notifications on a Discord server better than you can on an email, because then you can just get a million spam emails and then that fucks you. But I don't know. Business. So TikTok came out in 2017. I've had 2 TikTok accounts. I had one because I was trying to win a contest for James Charles. Yeah, I was one of those people. And then he had to go and be a creep too. And the thing that pisses me off more is that we are the same age. And that makes me even more fucking angry, because that means he watched all these other YouTubers as well do all this other gross shit and then still was like, I'm gonna do it too. Like, I don't fucking get that. I genuinely don't understand how you can be surrounded by all these people, see all their faults, and go, I'm gonna do that shit too, because clearly it worked out for them. And then the other one was just because my friends wanted to send me stuff and then stopped sending me stuff, so I deleted it. If TikTok wasn't getting banned, I would have considered doing my own social media work with that, but because it's getting banned, I don't see myself, doing anything with it. But if it doesn't get banned, we'll talk. So not that many left. We got about 5 left for me to talk about, because the next one's Be Real. I wanted to do Be Real. I don't have enough friends for Be Real though. It looked like a really cool app because you get to keep in touch with your friends a lot better, and you get to also keep attached to things that happen in your life. Because I'm the type of person that forgets to take photos all the time, and it's something I'm glad I have a camera now. I need to get better about taking it with me to places, but I've been whipping out my phone more to take photos of things because I really do just like capturing the beauty of things around me. I like seeing things and just going, that looks pretty, and snapping a photo. You never know what you miss in a moment until it passes. And I take that so seriously to the point to where that's why I don't let things pass. I don't let moments ride. I would rather talk about it right then, right there, because if something worse happens later and I can't have that conversation later, why would I not have that conversation right now, But people don't like confrontation, and I feel like that is something that Be Real definitely is a confronting moment, because you get to be like, what am I doing in this moment? And or what was I doing in that moment? And you can remember it. See, Be Real should have been a much bigger app than it is or was, and but not everyone wants to live in the moment like I do. Now, when Threads came out in 2023, I had an account for a month or two after it came out, and I deleted it because I wasn't posting anything on there and I wasn't seeing anyone else post anything on there. And I don't think it's that cool of an app. If anything, it should just eat X and move on. And then I would probably use it, because it would also be attached to my Instagram and I wouldn't have to make another account. That's probably the only perk I think Threads really has. Otherwise, it's X without the porn. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about Threads, other than it was a very bold move for Instagram to do, and I'm not sure if it's working out for them, but I really hope it is, so X can die and we can just be done with that shit. Now, these are kind of off the wall-y type social medias that basically, well, 2 of them are, and then LinkedIn, but I really think only writers really use these 2. So if you're not a writer, you don't have to listen to the rest of this. But Amino came out in 2012. If you were big into the roleplay scene, which I was, and what got me out of it was actually Amino. I got into it, well, I wasn't into it with Amino, I was already doing it and I liked it. But Amino is what killed it for me because of all the people that were on Amino. So basically what I have discovered with the roleplay community, at least the last time I engaged with it, which I think it's been about 8 years now, is most of them are neckbeards. And if you know what a neckbeard is, you know what a neckbeard is. Or all of them want to fucking win. They cannot accept, because they are operating in a fantasy world, that because it is fantasy, they can win. Like, it's not that they can't accept that. What I meant to say is, they cannot accept that even though it is a fantasy world where winning is possible, that they do not get to win every single fucking thing that happens with them in that fantasy world. I straight up remember the last RP thing I was in was a Soul Eater RP, where people were mixing abilities that they could not fucking have from that anime into their character and going, well, because this lore, that's why that happened. And I'm over here like, you know what, fuck it, go for it, have it. Have that ability, I don't give a shit. And we get all the way to this like big fight because someone decided they wanted to be the bad guy in the story. He wanted to be a Kishin like Ashura is. Kind of like how Ashura is with the black blood and everything like that. And I and two other people try and kill this dude with Kishin Hunter, which is supposed to fucking kill him again, but because he was like Ashura, Kishin Hunter wouldn't kill him. So we all collectively was like, so you can't die. And he was like, kind of. And we just kicked him from the group, and then I didn't want to feel like role-playing with them anymore. Because even everyone else that kicked him from the group was still just toxic in general, because they were doing shit in that RP to try and kill this dude that was like, I'm gonna push you out of, like, not push me out of the way, as in like in the RP, but like push me out of the way as in like what I was saying to try and engage with the RP as my character, out of the way to make themselves center of attention. And that's the other thing, is a lot of RPers want to be the center of attention. I don't want to fucking do that. And that's what made me leave Amino, because I was just tired of not being able to actually engage. And that's why whenever I started getting really into D&D, I wanted to engage with people that understand, hey, you know your character can and potentially will die in this event. And most, if not all of them, will be like, cool. If you tell me you want your character to survive, I'm probably going to try really fucking hard to kill your character. Because just because it's a fantasy world, does not mean you get to just fucking survive. This isn't like happy-go-lucky land where we all win all the time. If you accidentally roll a nat 1, I will make sure you explode. Like, I don't like playing favorites, and I don't like playing unfair. If it's a part of the game, which D&D has a lot of rules that are like rolling a nat 1 and you exploding, then that's how I want to play it. Not, let's play this where we all win in the end and it's all happy-go-lucky, because that's not fun. It doesn't... It's like why I have to do a video on why I'm annoyed about D&D 2024. And I'm going to end my Amino thought with that, is just, I can't believe we have to be winners and we have to get a prize all the time. You don't have to. It's okay. Winning doesn't mean... Winning and losing are both good things, because when you lose, you can learn how to get better to win later. And if you win, you fucking won! So the other app was Whisper. That also came out in 2012. And Whisper was kind of like how Yik Yak was, where it was all proximity based and stuff like that. But Whisper was really interesting because you could post like the live, laugh, love type shit, and like you could get comments off of that, or you can post little things where people can then come and talk to you about it. And you know, that was kind of fun for a while. The only problem I kept having is my area didn't really have a lot of young people. It was mainly older people being on the app, and so I didn't really have anyone to connect to, so that just killed it for me. And I don't even know if Whisper is still a thing anymore. I think it died. I tried checking social medias before I did this video, and it seems like it's died, but I could have also just missed it, or it didn't appear where I was looking. But Whisper was a decent app. I don't think that many people use it anymore. It was okay. It wasn't great. And the last thing I want, social media I wanted to comment on is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn would be a really great work app if you were not getting spammed all the time, if you were not having to weed through fraud, if you were not having to weed through spam, if you were not having literally an impossible time getting a job on the job social media app. Like, straight up, you made an app where people can connect with companies directly, and then those companies also don't want to fucking talk back to you, but that's the whole reason for the fucking app. And companies have special accounts that you have to pay money to talk to, or they won't even talk to you because they won't accept messages. And I'm just like, why would you have an account at that point? And I just think LinkedIn should be more cool than it is, but it totally isn't. And that's kind of my take on LinkedIn. It should be better than it is, but unfortunately, you can't even really find a job on there. And if you can, please fucking tell me how, because I've fixed my account in so many which ways, and it still is bullshit. So my last little comment about social media is Australia made it illegal last year for anyone under the age of 16 to access the internet, or at least social media. That 1 billion% should be the standard. Fucking everywhere. 16, kinda low. Should be 18. That's my opinion. And the big reason for that is because colleges are not going to start looking at you until then. You can say they started looking at you earlier, and that's great. They can get your email, and they can get your phone number of your parent. And that's how they can talk to you, and they can work on it through that way. You do not need a social media where you will accidentally post something stupid. You will, don't think you won't, and it will also help you to understand social media as you get to see it as you are engaging with the rest of the world instead of being on your phone, how it is affecting everyone else. Because even with that social media ban, I bet you could probably still watch YouTube and it not be illegal. Otherwise, that'd be crazy. I know some parts of Australia literally show YouTube ads on trains and shit like that. That would be kind of against the law, you know? But you can literally see how it affects everyone else. And I don't know, even while your frontal lobe is, you know, developing, you still be like, maybe I don't want to engage with something that is clearly toxic. Because we all know as grown-ups as well that the internet is not what it is portrayed as. And I like that they did that because it shows that they actually care about their young people versus us, who is like, oh my god, my 13-year-old, they should definitely have an iPhone, no parental restrictions, and they should be able to look at anything. And it's like, oh my god, they're sad all the fucking time? Oh my god, I wonder why that is. I should go onto their phone, starts looking at their phone. They're looking at a lot of people that have unrealistic bodies and accounts and shit like that. I wonder why they're sad. Man, it's like so hard to fucking grasp. Or like the amount of horror stories I've listened to where kids are literally getting abducted because of shit they went on. Fuck, I could have mentioned Kik if that was a social media. Man, my parents were really crazy strict, but the amount that they should have gone through just my Kik to begin with, because the amount of people that I should not have, yes, I am outing myself, that I should not have been talking to. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I'm gonna be a parent with social media, because no. Like, I almost would make it to where you would have to take a picture of your ID to go into social media. Like, that is the level in which I feel like it should be a thing. Like, every time you open up the app almost, because of the amount of things that happen on social media that kids should just not see because they don't understand it yet. Yes, we could teach them about it, and then they could totally, engage with it, and I would have no problem with that because they understand it and they're not going to get sucked into it. But just giving a kid a phone and just not really checking on them, or just like in general with the amount of social media access, I feel worried that people are getting, I'm not saying indoctrinated, that would be stupid, made to believe things that they shouldn't. Like that their hair shouldn't be blue, or they couldn't get a piercing. Now, I would like you to be a little bit older because your body's growing, but the amount of things that kids are getting told that they should or shouldn't do, or just in general little things, and I feel like there is ways we could teach them safety before they go online, and I don't know if that's happening anymore, because I just remember the basics of our stuff was like, don't tell people where you live, don't tell them, like, like the basic information that can be used to gather about you information. But I don't even feel like that's happening anymore, because I've heard literally horror stories of like 10 years ago where like I'm getting flustered because it is so unbelievably stupid, the amount of things that I know people know about and still did. So that's why, just a blanket, you should be 18 years or older to be able to access social media. It should just be the norm. Or at least, if you are going to access it earlier, your parents have to take a picture of their ID so we know who we're going to arrest if something happens, because it's the parents' fault. It legit is. No matter what happens, anything that happens on that social media, from your kid accidentally posting a photo of them drinking, that kid shouldn't get the fault, in my opinion. It should be the parent, because why in the fuck, A, did they get that ability to do that thing? And just, I'm doing a lot of parent blaming, but realistically, I am a mix of parents should be more involved and parents should not have to be that involved, i.e. making it 18 plus, and then they can do anything else. Social media is not that big, it's not that important. It's not. I am making this way bigger than it needs to be. My last little final thought is nothing should be censored, or at least nothing that cannot be misconstrued should be censored. And by misconstrued, I mean things like, I don't even know. I don't think information should be censored. I don't think TikTok should be taken down. I don't think we should not be learning about things. We need to understand what is happening in the world around us, and I feel like taking social media away, especially TikTok, is going to do that. And people are going to lose jobs. And I really feel like not only should TikTok, not even just TikTok, social media should be talked about more, but we need to understand more about it, how it's been affecting people, and vice versa. This has been my thoughts, feelings, experiences of social media. I hope you guys enjoyed this really long ass video, and whatever I end up calling this, I hope you click on it and enjoyed it. Peace, guys.